Hi everyone, welcome back to Kaz Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about Komoot. Now this is a social media activity app that was created in Germany, and I'd heard it mentioned a few times over the last year, but I did wonder what it could offer me that my normal apps like View Ranger and the Ordnance Survey one already didn't. So I didn't really take much notice at first, but then I wanted to create a really long hiking route from Bournemouth to Manchester to be precise. And I found that with the apps I was using that they wouldn't allow me to create a route of that distance, and I'd get a message saying error, your route is too long to input or something like that. Komoot would actually let me do it. So it kind of piqued my interest a bit, and I looked a bit further into the app. So I've decided to make a series of 3 videos to share my findings with you, and today we're going to cover the free version of the app and start off with the basics. I'm going to be using my laptop because I find I like to plan my routes on the laptop and then transfer them to my phone because it's sort of a bigger screen. So we're going to start off today finding our way around the Komoot website, and then we'll create a route. Let's get started. So once you head to Komoot for the first time, you will come to this page, and it gives you obviously lots of information, but I haven't signed in at the moment, so it's just giving me some general information. As I'd mentioned, it is a social media app, so once you're following people and Komoot also gets to know the sort of activities you do, then this becomes a bit like a home feed, and you can see the activities that the people you're following are up to, plus some suggested activities from Komoot. So if we go to the Discover tab here, it can show you all the different activities that you can have a look through. So we're going to talk about hiking, but basically the app is hiking, biking and running. So if we click on the hiking one here, then we can pop in a place. So let's put in Cumbria, say, and we can put lots of filters on that. So you have over 1,300 tours around Cumbria. Now tours are what Komoot call routes or hiking trails. They're tours. If you wanted to narrow that down a bit more, you could say whether you wanted them to be accessible with public transport and the duration. So let's say we wanted it to be an hour to 3.5 hours. And the difficulty we'll have intermediate, easy or intermediate, and then it's down to 758. If we change that around, the expert ones, 247. As you'd expect, there's a few less expert routes. And if you wanted to have a look at this in a bit more detail, you could click on Customize, Open in Planner, and so then you're able to edit this to your own requirements. And you can have a look at this, you can have a look at all the pictures. Like I say, let's look at this striding edge one. You can click on here and you can see all the information on it, but what you can't do is save until you've signed up or logged in. If you're going to sign up to Komoot, I suggest you go to Shop. Now, here are the maps that are all different levels of price, which I'm going to go into in my next video. But when you sign up to Komoot, it gives you a single region of a map for free. So that allows you to play around with the app and the software and see if it's something that works for you. There are single regions, region bundles and the world pack. Now that's quite self-explanatory, that's the whole world map. The single region, in my experience, it seems to be sort of in the UK, it seems to be sort of a part of a county, whereas the region bundle would be the whole county. So as we get one of these for free, let's click on this and let's search for Bournemouth, for example. So Bournemouth, and you can see here that the bundle, which basically is a collection of single regions, will include the whole of Dorset. Okay, that's the whole of Dorset. But I'm getting a single region for free as I'm just signing up, and that will be East Dorset. Okay, so you can see the blue area is the single region, and the bundle would be the whole of Dorset. So I will get this area for free, so I can save maps, I can download them to my phone, I can follow them, I can use all the features. You can have any region you like, so I live around the New Forest, but I could, if I wanted, choose to have the single region as, say, Cumbria. I would suggest, though, especially at the moment, that you choose a region that is near where you live so that you're going to be able to access it and try out the features of the app. So let's move on now and have a look at the route planner. So this is how it opens up. Now you can either choose a route to do from Komoot's library of trails, which I briefly showed you earlier in the hiking trails under the Discover section, or you can plan your own. Now here's where we filter down. So here's all the different sports. So we've got the hiking and all these different types of biking: bike touring, mountain biking, road cycling, gravel riding, enduro mountain biking, and we also have mountaineering and running. We're going to go for hiking and fitness. So you have here from couch potato through to average, in good shape, athletic and pro. Now in my experience, changing these parameters here just means that if you set this to couch potato as opposed to in good shape, then Komoot will just suggest that it will take you a lot longer to do your chosen route. So the more you go up on here, then the less time Komoot will suggest it will take you to complete your hike. So we're going to go for in good shape, and we'll just do one way at the moment. Now you can either enter your starting point and destination here if you want to, or you can click on the map. So let me show you the reason that I was first attracted to the app, because it let me actually, let's zoom in a little bit and find Bournemouth, allowed me to actually, so you click on your starting point and it will open up and you can press start here, and then I was going to plan a huge hiking trip all the way up to Manchester, which is where I first realised the power of this app, because it would actually plan me a route the whole way. So let's find Manchester, there we go. So let's just generally click on the centre and let's set that as the destination. And what Komoot will do now, it will suggest a route, the best route for hiking that it thinks you can take from Bournemouth to Manchester. It will tell you the distance, which is 407 kilometres, the time it will take, and the elevation, etc. It says it's an expert hiking tour and very good fitness required. What it also does, which I really like, is it shows you the different way types. This is 407 kilometres and it breaks it down. It tells you that how much is on a mountain hiking path, how much is on a hiking path, a path, footpath, street, etc. And then the surfaces. So you can see that it's planned the best, what it thinks is the best hiking route. If you were to change this to, let's go for road cycling, if you look at the blue line here, then it changes. Obviously it's going to go more for roads, and then if we look at the surfaces, there's a lot, there's a cycleway there, and there's a lot here on road. I won't go into the different types of biking because I'm particularly talking about hiking today with this app. So let's go back to hiking. So that was just to show you that it will actually let me plan this long route, and I couldn't actually find another app that would let me go this far. So let's have a look at an area I'm familiar with, which would be a walk in the New Forest, for example, so a day hike. And let's go from Brockenhurst. So let's start here and let's go to Witten Pond. There it is, very pretty little pond in the forest. We'll set that as the destination. So let's have a look what Komoot has said. It's just over 12 kilometres, reckons it'll take us about 3 hours. It's an intermediate hiking tour, good fitness required. It's mountain hiking path and path, and very little. A state road is less than 100 metres and a road is 275 metres. So that looks good to me. So this is our route. Now, one thing I haven't pointed out yet is these red dots on the map. Now, there are some, as you can see, that have got a little white figure in the centre. These are highlights, and these have been added to Komoot by other users, and they are suggesting them as somewhere interesting for you to visit. It could be a tea room or a pub, or it could be a good view, or a particularly good hiking path, or particularly good cycle route, something like that. The ones with the little white figure in the middle are hiking highlights. Because we're particularly looking at hiking, we're being shown the hiking highlights. So the ones that have got just a little dot in the centre will be another activity. So this one, let's look at this one. This is Mill Lane Bunny Run. So if we click on it, it tells us it's a road cycling highlight and a perfect little cut through to avoid the witchcraft in Burley Village. So a little bit of information about it. You can include it on your route or ignore that one. So the route it's taking us, we have the station tea room. A tea room's been suggested. Let's have a look at that one. So station tea rooms at Holmesley. Excellent bowl of chips and a doorstop sandwich. An interesting tea room with a pass. Cakes looked amazing, but went for a savoury option on this visit. So if you wanted to include that on your route, you just click on there and Komoot would alter your route to include Holmesley tea rooms. You might also want to look at the Naked Man. Let's click on that. That's interesting. So the Naked Man. This unassuming tree was used in the early 19th century for highwaymen and smugglers who were caught, and supposedly the convicts were hung and left naked at this point to deter others. These days a plaque marks the spot. So there's the Naked Man. That's the name of the tree. Would you like to include that on your route? You could include that on your route. And again, Komoot alters your route to include that highlight. So you can do that all the way along. There's views, you just hover over and it'll tell you the old railway, that's Wilverley Plain. One of these, yes, the White Buck, that's a nice pub, but we're already going to the tea room, so we probably don't need both. Now, if you wanted to make this into a round trip, you click on round trip, and what generally Komoot does is most of the time it will just send you back the same way because it's already suggested what it thinks is the best route between Brockenhurst and Whitton Pond. So it's likely to be similar on the way back. Now, if you wanted to make this a lot more varied, you could include, so say you wanted to include Wilverley Plain and you include that on your route, you're going to get more of a varied return. If you wanted to include disused railway, gravel, so that's a bike touring highlight and cyclists are suggesting that's a good place to cycle. You could include it on your route if you wanted, and you're going to get, you see how you're varying your route now as you go along. So that's one way to make sure your route back is not the same as the one you took out there. Well, that just about wraps up my intro to very basic usage of Komoot using the free version. And in next week's video, I will talk about the paid versions and what it was that persuaded me that it was definitely worth upgrading.